Now, you probably read the title, and that's right. That's exactly what I wanted. If you feel offended, well, you're probably a sucker or a loser. Now, for those of you who are gonna go straight to the comment section and rage about it, well, you're probably a pagan. And for those of you who are ready to sit down, listen to a proper dialogue, enjoy. Now, how do I stop a proper discussion, a proper dialogue with very interesting people that are able to express their views and opinion without any boundaries? Well, I can't. Now you're probably wondering this thing. Hey, why do this? Why this title? Well, this is the thing. I do what I want, and this is what I wanted to do. Get ready, enjoy.
God have mercy upon us.
Awesome. Okay, we have a interesting topic today to discuss. It's I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm gonna take it lightly, but it's how do I say? It's a topic that it had to be talked about, and the reason why I say this is because there's a lot of things that have been said around the internet and whatnot, and it's only right that I had to bring the most qualified people that I could think of. Big Tony, am I right? Not from Sopranos, no, local guy from Winnipeg, but still legit. I got my Moroccan friend right here, Ilias. He told me he's the only person that actually matters in Morocco, so that's how to bring him. But
Morocco, I said Africa, man. Get it right.
yo, guy, this guy. But anyways, when I thought about doing this topic, my head was like, hey, bro, like, how do I actually have this topic before, like, how do I start so it makes sense? So before I ask any questions, I'm gonna ask these guys this one question. In general, what do you guys think of white people?
You go first, bro.
Me?
Yeah.
Like you mean in general, white people?
Like, say what you want. What do you think of them?
I mean, they're like any other people. It depends on where they're from, right? How they grew up, and how they treat you. You could have someone who's not white treat you like shit. Well, you and I are not gonna get along. If he's white, his ancestors were slave owners, but the guy is chill, then it is what it is.
What I have to say is it depends. Like, what do you mean by white people, though? Like, are you referring to like Canadian white people? Because there's so many different kinds of white people, right? Like, for example, like I'm Italian, but like I'm different than like other white people. You know what I'm saying?
So when I say white people, just in general.
In general.
In general, like if you like what is your opinion?
My opinion is like kind of what you said. It depends where they're from, right? Because in my opinion, I don't look at people like as just white people. I look at them as like whatever country they're from. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it, anyway.
But like when we talk about like the public, the general, like now let's put our opinion aside. When we think about other people, how do you guys think they view them in general?
I think the way it is now is it's very hypocritical. A lot of hate for white people. Oh, you're white, so you shouldn't. But then they forget their history too, where they were also oppressed. Like, are you trying to restart the same cycle? You know, you're angry at, which is what it is now. A lot of people are angry just because you're white. Okay, are you angry at this white person for being white? Because he was oppressing you for being black? So are you not doing the same thing now? Like, where's your morals ground that you're standing on?
That's true. I agree with what you said.
Yeah, it's people right now are just going to extremes.
So, but this is the thing. Like you touched on over there. If people are doing, because like what white people did in the past, you know what I mean? We could all agree it was wrong, right?
Certain white people.
Okay, yeah, certain white people. But like today, aren't those same people doing what white people did? Couldn't you say it's like that? Like you guys see how the wheels have turned?
Like, what do you mean those same the people that were oppressed are now
Like, yeah, so you see how the people were oppressed
Yeah.
before and how they did the oppressing to the other group? Would you guys say like the wheels have turned?
Like you're saying that like that people that are non-white are basically oppressing white people.
Yeah, would you say that?
I would say that's all media. Because when it comes to real life, like say like all of us chilling in a room right now,
Yeah.
we're all different, but we're still chilling. You know what I mean? So when it comes to real life, I think it's different. I think the media is trying to push people to be like, oh, we don't like white people, we don't like black people. But if you, in reality, I don't think that's how it works, bro.
But there is a danger though, because it is media and they're pushing that.
Yeah.
And there's a generation that's coming afterwards, right? And this generation, they're young, so they will be very easily influenced. You always want to be part of a group, right? So if they're hearing that, oh, we hate these people, you're like, oh well, I don't want to be left out, so I also hate these people. And then you grow up and you're like, actually, I don't know why I hate them, but fuck it.
So
It's
like,
an issue for the future. I agree with you in reality, like it's not a big.
so like, how much like damage does that do for the next generation? Would you guys say?
I think it's hard to say. I feel like it could do damage because then people get brainwashed by social media, right? They're like, oh, there's so many race issues and this and that. But in reality, I don't think there's that many race issues in Canada because, at least from my experience, right? Like I kick it with whoever I chill with. You know what I mean? I don't think about like, oh, you're this, you're that. You know what I mean? It's like if we get along, you know what I'm saying? But the media wants you to think, oh, he hates this person because of their skin color. But in my opinion, that's not true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like, when you say that, like after what he said, like who benefits from that? Like if the media is pushing that narrative, who benefits from that?
You could go.
Who benefits from that?
Yeah. Like if the media is pushing this idea that we have to hate white people, or
Well,
there's
the
this
media does. The
So-
more divisive their topics are, the more clicks and views they get. It is what it is. But to go back to what you were saying, Canada though is, I think, unique in the world right now, right, in terms of acceptance. It recognizes itself, it's self-aware that it is a country of immigrants, and because of that, it is accepting instead of. Trying to force people to leave behind their past, they're trying to mix. Right, you're now Canadian, but we appreciate your past and we'd like to see it, etc., etc. There is one point though, is currently what's happening with Indian people, especially in Ontario, if you've heard about that.
Yes, yeah.
And although Canada, I would say, is not racist as a whole, there are still communities within Ontario that are very, very, very hateful. When I say hateful, it's not American hateful. They're hateful in a way that just, my life's been kind of turned around. I don't understand what's going on. I just want answers.
Like what you're saying is that people are upset with immigration.
Upset, yes, maybe not hateful.
Yeah.
Hateful is a strong word, but upset. They're upset and they're blaming the wrong people. Certain communities, right? People who understand, they understand it's not the fault of the immigrant. It's the system is broken.
So like before I touched on like the immigrants and stuff like that, right? Like because like the other day I was thinking about this question, right? Ideally, we'd want the population to grow, right? But systematically, like, what do we have in place so that people can actually have that? So that people can actually have a family and grow. You know what I mean? Because I'll give you an example. If you're like, there's no way you'd have 5 kids right now, right?
No way.
Especially economically, it doesn't make sense. Like you wouldn't put yourself through that stress, right? So like, is it because the system is broken and they failed us, or is it because we recognize that we can't do what we're supposed to do to raise a lot of kids, and thus because of the financial part?
I basically think that they need to promote more families on media. Like there should be like incentive to have children. Like the government should give you more tax breaks or whatever, and like promote having a family. You know what I mean? Like right now in our culture, like Canadian culture, social media, it's all about like, oh, I'm single, I want to travel, this and that. But that's the wrong mentality. We should be thinking like, oh, you should get a wife, you should have kids, start a family, and the government should give you incentive to do that. You know what I mean? The tax breaks. So
I think there is government incentives for having kids, but what there isn't, and what you touched on, is we're not educating, or we're not teaching family values.
yeah.
And with social media, it's a lot easier to be isolated. But because it's a very different world.
Wait, but
from
hold
20
on.
years
When you
ago.
say isolated, right? Like, okay, this is my problem with social. Okay, do we choose to be isolated, right? Or do we just not have the knowledge or the experience to know what we want in general in life? That's why we're just easily persuaded.
The thing is, some people, they're like sponges, bro. You know what I mean by that? They just absorb whatever they see and they don't think for themselves. That's
no
the
filter.
problem.
No
Yeah.
filter about what they're taking.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is it because life is easy in this side of the world? Because back home, right? Like let's say like in our like Congo, Morocco, whatever, like there's no way that you'd have time to go on social media and then like the traveling, all that stuff. The first thing we do is family first, make kids, and then whoop whoop. Is it because, like I said, is it because here we have no problems to think about? That's why we can just, like you said, sponges. Is it that way?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think the problems are different. It's not easier, but the problems are different. It's like comparing apples to bananas, right? We are living a better life. If we're talking quality of life, for sure, it is definitely a better quality of life. But in terms of ease, well, if it was easier, we wouldn't have suicide rates, right? We would have lower, and yet they're rising. So is it easier? Is a different question. Back home, like you said, there's fertility. It's also part of the culture. If you're not married, your grandma's going to be bugging you about it and I'm sure it's the same in certain European countries. If you're not married, every time you see a family member, so when are you going to have kids?
That's true. Yeah.
Right?
It's
It's
true.
a different culture. But whereas here in Canada, we learned it was completely different. It's all up to you. We don't really we want kids, but if you don't have it, we could go out.
And you know what that is? It's not a race thing.
Yeah.
It's just a Canadian culture thing.
Yeah.
Because if you have somebody who grows up here, it doesn't matter what they are. They could be white, black, Asian, whatever.
Yeah.
If they grew up here in the Canadian culture, they'll think that way, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you have people who come here from foreign countries, whether that be Europe, like white European countries or African, whatever, they have that mentality. I got to start a family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just the Canadian culture.
But like, do you think that that pressure is the reason why like the decline of like a lot of the white people? Like, do you guys think that because they have so much pressure to do so many things, that the fact that they don't have time to start a family, is that why?
But you think just white people? Because I think that's everyone, bro.
That's everyone. Yeah, I know that, but like in terms of like the general aspect, like if you look at the race that's more inclined to go down, it's white people in this society right now, right? So to compare to other people, because like you just said, it's a cultural thing. Back home, our mindset is different, right? Like even me, like my parents, sometimes like even my grandpa the other day, he was bugging me. He's like, I had my first kid at 24. When you have these kids young.
Yeah, my grandparents do that.
You know what I
shit
mean?
too.
Just
Yeah,
push,
yeah.
push, push, push. But like it's you know what I mean? It's like we all live in different times, and we understand the pressure that comes from it, right? So when we talk to the older generation, do you think that's where the miscommunication comes from? Because they don't understand all the things that we have to deal with.
The thing is, it's like they don't understand what we got to deal with when it comes to financially, but at the same time, I agree with them when it's like you should have a family. Like a lot of us are waiting too late. You know what I mean? In our
Facts.
30s because we want to party and do shit like that.
Facts.
But to me, that's not like what life's about. Life's about like reproducing. You know what I mean? Having a family, having a wife. I think that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you're partying and shit at the club when you're like 30, 35, you're kind of a bum, bro. I know people are gonna hate me for saying that, but it's my opinion. You know what I mean?
No, that's crazy because a lot of the times, like, okay, if you're 30, 40 at the club, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, like what
You're
are you
either
doing,
gonna
bro?
stand in the corner and just move your hips, like.
Yeah, you look like a creep too, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
that, like I have some buddies that do that shit. I'm not trying to be a hater, but it's just my
Yeah.
belief. You
No,
know what I mean?
but like you're right. But like, in terms of like having a purpose, do you guys think that's what affects a lot of our generation? We just don't know. Like we get to the stage of our lives, we just don't know what to do. Like we use partying as a vice to just escape.
To avoid responsibility. Yeah.
right.
What do you think, bro?
I think we have too much choice. Like where we are right now, we have too much choice. You could literally do anything. Like if we're being honest, you could do anything. There's programs to support you in a lot of things. You want to start a business, government can cover most of it. Right? We could do anything. Too much choice, but there's responsibility that comes with it. And I do think it is just escaping it. Right? I mean, and I'll go back to what you said though with older generation doesn't understand this. I think they do to a certain degree. Financially, they had tougher times than we do now. Like had the depression, the crashes, etc., etc., etc. I think it was a tougher time. And I think it does come. There is some wisdom in having a family. There is support, right? And it's easier to deal with problems when you have someone that you can trust fully. You know, a wife or kids if they grow up, they can trust fully to get through that shit.
But so like a lot of these you said makes, but like what's keeping that divide from actually having that talk? Because a lot of the times you see these kids, they'll say you don't understand. You're not saying.
Well, first, I want to say what I kind of disagree with you with one thing. The reason why I think they don't get it fully is because back then, you didn't even need your grade 12. And you could buy a house. A nice house for not even that much money.
It was for
You
like
could be
80K.
working wherever, bro. You know what I mean? So
You
that's
could
the
pay it
one
off
thing
in
they
2
don't
years.
get.
Yeah, no, I agree with that because, like you said, if you look back to the golden age of America, if you ask them, you could pay off your house within 2 years of working,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and it's a
yeah.
nice house, but what we would consider now a nice house. But they still, I'm not saying they understand this fully. I'm saying in some aspect, when
In
it
some
comes to
aspects,
struggle
yeah.
is a universal language, right? If you haven't struggled, then you can't speak with most people. If you come from a Nepo life, you can't go to someone which is most people who's been having financial issues and tell them about how tough it is.
That's true.
They don't
Yeah,
communicate. So in terms of struggle, the old generation will understand because they've been through it. Now their approach to it is different, and I think that's why you're saying there's a disconnect.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you, like, if someone's been through tough times and someone's had it easy, right? Like, is there even a way for those two people to actually have a dialogue or discussion?
Like, you mean like a general conversation?
Yeah,
Or
like
just about a serious topic? Like
Yeah, like just an end. Like, imagine this, okay? Like, I've been broke my whole life, right? And then I work my butt off to get to this level.
Yeah.
I'm a billionaire, right? You can have anything you want. How do I instill that mindset where you understand that, hey, life isn't like this. You actually have to work hard. Like, is it even possible?
I think it's very possible.
Like, how?
Well, there's some conditions you got to meet to get there. First of all, both people have to be very open. Like you have to be open to understand that there's a different world, that your point of view isn't just the correct one because it's worked. Okay, that's the first requisite, is that both parties have to be ready. Then the next one is that there's some honest sharing, and you guys are going to disagree. Like you said, with it's tough. And you have to work hard, and the other guy's gonna say, "Why'd you have to do that? Just go call so and so, and you're done." You have to be able to share your point of view effectively in a way that the other person can understand. And to do that, there needs to be a lot of communication, so you can understand how to get it across, and then you have to be able to receive it in ways that you can,
When you guys like think about this, like the information, what's more important? Being present in that moment with that individual to build a bond, or pass on the information, if you could pick one.
What do you mean, be present or pass on?
Being present, like if I go to his soccer games, if I go to his birthday, if I show up when he has problems, like what's more important? Being able to show up in that moment where he needs you the most, or pass on the information?
Like information about what though?
Anything that you know in terms of him being able to be successful.
You're saying like advice or
advice.
be present.
Yeah, advice. Yeah, either advice or be present.
I think you have to do both.
No, but if you could pick one.
If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
well, since we're older, it's harder to be present. So probably advice.
So how do you? Okay, now that you picked advice.
Yeah.
How much how much of the presence would you sacrifice? Because it does affect the child from a young age to when they get older, right?
Like, are you saying like as a parent or as a
No, as a parent. As a parent.
as a parent. Oh, you got to be present all the time, and I
So
take that back.
You would take presence
Presence over advice any day, bro. Sorry, I didn't know that's what you meant.
No, that's what I meant. Because the reason why I say that question is because a lot of the times we think that, especially when we get to that stage, we think that, because I've gone here, I can just skip all the steps of being present and I can just give that information, right?
No, I think you got to be present always, bro.
I think both though.
No, but if you could pick one,
If you could pick one,
Yeah.
then presence would have to supersede. But there's value in advice.
Advice, but like the reason why I said like it's a tricky one, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times, a lot of the people that have money is just advice that they give out there, and we've seen how it affects them long term.
Yeah.
Right. But like most of the times, we'd want our parents just to be there, and then actually show up.
Be in the moment.
Be in the moment.
Present for sure.
Yeah. But like when you guys think of like you guys as like individuals' life, like presence or advice, like how much would you guys say that affected you, like in terms of who you guys are right now?
I think presence is the most important. Like your parents being in your life is how you stop yourself from going down a bad path.
Yeah, but like in terms of like your personal life, like how did it shape you? How do you feel?
You go first. I gotta think about that, bro. That's like a tough question, bro.
Yeah, that is a tough one because who you are now isn't determined by just the presence of two individuals. Like half your life is, or most of your life is a culmination of multiple presences, and some of them aren't even there. It's just advice that you heard, but it sticks with you, and it affects how you interact with the other presences.
Yeah, but like the most important things, it's always our mom and dad, right? And that's the one we always remember.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's why I asked that question. It's like, how like when you guys look back at your childhood months, like how did it shape you guys for the individuals that you guys are right now?
Oh, I mean, everything that's built for who you are is built on that foundation of those two, right? If they're good, it will change how you interpret everything else. If they're not good parents, it will change how you interpret everything else. You might not be trusting, so all the information you get, all the advice, all the presences, you don't trust it. So you know, maybe distort it or see it a different way. I think it plays maybe the most important role is those two, good or bad, affects how everything else is then taken in and interpreted.
I agree with that. Yeah. I like, for me, it's like I was a bad kid, and my parents tried hard. But some people are just like, you could be present all you want, but if that kid is just, you know, like a shitty kid, he'll be a shitty kid.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Like, would you say? Because like I know exactly what you mean. Like you're the back sheep, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're in the same boat. But like, would you say like over time, you just recognize that, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta steer that way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So like over time, I recognize this shit I was doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Like I won't tell you full shit,
Yeah.
but like I've been
obviously.
arrested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a criminal record. I got kicked out of many high schools.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that was me. My parents were present. They were there for me, but I made the mistakes. But then when I got older, I realized I was like, you know what? Like my parents were there for me all the time. I shouldn't be like this. You know what I mean? So
is it because like they had the patience, or they just knew how to like talk to you? That helped you the most?
No, the patience.
Patience?
Like with my parents, like, you know, like I love them, right? But it's like I was never like emotional with them.
Yeah.
Like I never told them about like how I'm feeling or any of that. You know what I mean? Because that's just not the person I am. But with family, right?
Yeah. But is it because like when you were young, you just knew you had to be tough? Because I feel exactly what you mean.
No, that's what I feel like. I didn't want to be soft.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The reason why I say that I agree with 100% what you say is because like I grew up like that too. Like I just couldn't show like emotion. Like as a man, like I feel like you just have to be strong, right?
You have to take it.
You have to take it, right?
Yeah.
So like when you guys like compared to your other friends that are soft, do you guys feel like, oh, I'm so glad I was tough?
I feel like a lot of my friends are not soft.
No, but like the ones who are soft, because you know, like I've seen guys like there's some things that would make them pissed off, that would make them cry, and for me, I would just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that. Yeah. I never was like the kind of guy to be too soft and cry and shit. You know, if a family member dies, then I'll cry. Like my the grandfather, right? He died. I cried obviously over that, but like when it comes to like little shit, like I'm not gonna be crying. And none of my buddies would be crying either. That I know of.
Yeah.
If they did, I wouldn't like hate on them too much. You know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit, bro.
A little bit. It'll be for months you'll be talking. Remember that one time?
Maybe that one time you cried, bro.
But like, okay, so like if an individual opens up like in front of you, like how do you feel? Would you be like, yo, would you look at him differently? Because as a man, he opens up.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends.
You know what I mean? Like if you're crying over like a family member or like your dog or some shit, I understand that. I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
But if you're watching a movie and you're crying, like what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like, you know, nowadays they say that it's more accepted. But it's like, because nowadays it's more accepted, because, you know, like, would you feel sympathy for that person, or would you just be like, yo, you're kind of...
I think it still depends on the issue.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming to me because somebody took your lunchbox at work dug in and took the yogurt and you're like crying about it.
That's whack. Like, you can't be crying about that.
But it happens, you know. You're like crying and these people. I mean, come on, you know. But if there's if someone like comes and fucks up your life, you know, it's to a point where it weighs on you to such a degree, and there's nothing you can do. Right. That's a really tough situation.
If you're okay, let me ask you this question: if you guys are having a bad day, right, like worst the worst, you're super mad, and this guy comes home and says, "I cried because my lunchbox things." Like, how would you react?
I'd be like, bro, you're too soft, man.
Honestly, man, it'd make me feel better.
Really?
Like my days going bad. This guy is coming with this. I'm like, you know what?
Wait, would you still be friends with him if he did that?
I mean, like, I would still be friends with him, but like, just be like, bro, you can't be like, in all due respect, like, you can't be like that. Like, that's whack. Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you have a girl and you come home and you're crying in front of your girl about dumb shit. She's gonna look at you like, this guy's whack. You know what I mean?
He took my parking spot.
Like, you can't be crying over shit like that.
No, because like every time I think about things like that, because like the reason why I agree with you a lot, like I know for, like a friend like in the past, like he'd get lit and then he just starts expressing his like life thing. And he's, you know what I mean? And I start looking at him weird. It's just like as a man, you can't do that. Even me, like I tell girls all the time, there's no way in hell I'd ever cry in front of you.
You don't cry in front of your homie. When you don't cry in front of your girl, unless it's something like your dog dies, your grandpa dies, your mom dies,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's something serious.
Something serious.
Something serious. So like, going back to like the white people thing. Like, do you think they recognize the advantage that they have in society? Or it's just like, it's ingrained in them?
Well, okay. Well, let me, this is a good one. What do you mean by advantage though?
So like, because I'm white, I know I have certain privileges that others don't get.
And like, what would that be though? For
that
example,
would be if I get stopped by the cops, I could get away because I'm just white.
Okay, let me just say something quick, bro.
Yeah.
If me and you get stopped by the cops, who are they most likely gonna look at?
Me.
Are you serious, bro?
Have you seen his tattoos?
My tattoos, like I personally think they would look at me more.
Brother is that.
Why?
He's
Because of how I dress. My tattoo, 100%, in my opinion.
Okay.
Or if I was in the car, they arrest both of you.
Okay. No, hold on. If we both get stopped by the cops, we both smoke like weed, smell like weed, not smoke like weed. We smell like weed, right? You honestly think the cop would look at you first?
Yes.
Even if I'm in the driver's seat?
Because this is why I say they would look at me first.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any tattoos, any visible ones. I have my hands and fingers done. They might look at me and be like, yo, this guy might be whatever. You know what I mean? But you, the way like you're dressed, like, you know, like normal, right? Like they might not look at you as much as they'll look at me. I personally think when it comes to Canada, I don't know about America, but when it comes to Canada, I think it's about how you dress, how you present yourself. You know what I mean?
Wait, would you have that same mindset if you had a sweater on? If we both have a sweater on and we have mittens on?
like no tattoo showing?
No tattoos.
Okay, no tattoo showing. It depends how I dress. Do I have my chains out? Am I wearing Timbs? And are you dressed more like?
No. I'm saying like we're both okay. We're both dressed the same.
Yeah.
Jacket and mitts, right? We smell like weed, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think and I'm in the driver's seat. Who do you think the cops would?
I think the cops would be more mad at you because you're in the driver's seat. And if I was in the driver's seat, they'd be more mad at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you don't think? So at the end, you don't think this colorism?
I think when it comes to Canada, I think the colorism thing is not as there as it could be in America. I don't live there, so I don't know. But when it comes to Canada, I think it's not really as much as you would think, right?
Yeah. No, Canada. When you're thinking that, you're thinking America. A lot of their culture and stuff bleeds into Canada. So people get confused between the two. Even Canadians. They see it on the news.
No, but even when for the Black Lives Matter thing, like when I went to the rally thing, like I see a lot of people like they say like fuck the police, like as in we were in the States, right? And that's where that question comes from, right? So like you said, you guys said that it's a mindset from the States.
Yes.
But it does. There's some people that do say that certain events do happen, like the.
Well, they do.
They do, but I think
not as much as
they're more rare. For example, like I think when it comes to like the whole race thing with the cops, I honestly, personally believe it's how you dress, how you present yourself.
Yeah.
I think present yourself is more important because in
Yeah.
Winnipeg, we don't care how you dress. You can go in pajamas and no one's gonna say.
No, but I mean like when it comes to the cops, if cops pull me over and like say I'm dressed like kind of like a little bit hood, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It doesn't
like
matter the
baggy
race. I could be
and-
white, Arabic, whatever. They'll look at me different than they would somebody dressed just casual. You know what I mean?
But do you guys think that prejudice is justified?
Yes.
Why is that?
And as somebody who kind of looks like sketchy a little bit,
Yeah.
I think it's justified because I'm choosing to present myself that way. And the majority of people that present themselves that way, not all of them, do actually do that type of shit. So I think I think it's justified that they have a little bit of prejudice. You know what I'm saying?
So, like you're saying, it's safety over anything, right?
Yeah, because the cops are they're trying to like defend themselves in case you are that guy. You know what I mean? And if you dress like you're that guy, they're gonna assume you're that guy because that's who they deal with all the time. You know what I mean? In jail, like all the guys, they'll dress a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna find. It doesn't matter the race. You're not gonna find some guy in jail who's like clean cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's different,
It's
right?
different, yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that I don't really think it's race.
Yeah.
It could be in the States, but in Canada, I don't. From my
it's not-
personal
yeah,
experience,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
In Canada, we're like, actually, here's a good story to prove.
Yeah.
Canada at least doesn't have that issue with cops. I was butchering with family. Okay, butchering. I got blood over my clothes. I found out when I got home, so I'm like bloody. I had like blood on. And I'm driving, and I'm going allegedly 50 over.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going like allegedly a lot over the speed limit. Cop stops me. You know, he was right behind me, pulls me over. He goes, "Okay, what's going on here? Where are you going in such a hurry?" Explain to him the situation. It's 4 Arab guys with a bag, blood. You know, we're like, and then we're looking, and he goes, "Well, look, man, you don't have any infractions. Just slow down next time."
Yeah.
Lets me go.
Yeah. Wait, but do you think you got away with it because of your interaction? With
Yeah, 100%.
If you're respectful, yeah.
Respectful,
Even
yeah.
though I'm like bloody, I go, yeah, you know what? I was going that fast, and I apologize. I'll take the ticket. Like I'm not gonna fight you over it. And it was like, you know what? You understand your mistake. Just drive slow, and you're good to go. Like you said, you present yourself in a respectful manner. You can get the respect back.
Yeah, because I remember my dad always told me this. It's like the way you present yourself, like that's how people are gonna take you, right?
And look at you. Yeah,
And look
exactly.
at you, right? Like if you just like a schmuck or a bum, no one's gonna take you serious.
Yes, exactly.
Unless you have a name out there, that makes sense.
Just think of food.
Yeah.
If someone brings you something and it's like what the fuck am I looking at? It tastes good, sure, but I don't know if I'm gonna touch it.
Yeah, facts.
But sometimes it looks good, but it's
Yeah,
rotten.
yeah.
So presenting yourself gets the person
Yeah,
to taste the food or to get to experience who you are.
So like now let's talk about how other races view like the white population in general. Like how do you guys think they view them?
To be honest, it depends. Are they like a normal type person or are they extreme? Because you have extreme people that will look at white people as like their threats, or you have extreme white people who look at black people or other races as threats. But most normal people, I feel like don't look that way. You know what I mean? At least the people that I've met. You know what I'm
So
saying?
when you say white normal people,
Yeah.
those are the people that aren't affected by the ideology that they see
Extremists. Yes.
and
Yeah.
in the news, right?
Yes.
It's people that actually go outside
Yeah.
and have that experience.
It's people that you'll kick it with at like wherever, like
Yeah.
a party or
Yeah.
people that you just know through high school. Like
Yeah.
most of the people that I met, they're not like that.
Yeah.
But then there's those few extreme people that they are consumed by the media. They see this and that, right? And they always think there's race issues going on.
You know what's crazy? As you just keep mentioning the media,
Yeah.
I think it was this year and last year. I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is the year that that word white supremacist has been shown a lot of times, more than anyone. And when I go outside, I don't see none of that at all.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I
It's
mean?
the media.
It's the media, but
Yeah.
it bleeds in from the States. A lot of our culture is to a degree, like in Canada,
Yeah.
imported. Okay, so it bleeds in, but we are different. We are Canadian, not American. Okay, so we see it. It comes to us because of that connection that we have, but it's not here. And they're like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
But the thing is too, like there is some white supremacists, but they're very few, in my opinion. Like when you see them when you're walking around, like you don't, right? Like not really. Like maybe you may meet one. I've never personally met one,
Yeah.
but maybe they're around. But I think it's more of an American thing, and I don't even know how much it is in America because I don't live there, right?
It can actually be bad in some areas in the U.S.
In some areas,
In
right?
the south, right? In the south.
In the south, but even like in the middle, sometimes it just depends where you go, and it depends your access to education. And I'm not talking about like book education, but life. Like you said, the people around you are normal because they get to interact with different people.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if he's different; he's going through the same shit I am.
Yeah.
So
But I'll say something too quick. But the thing is, like, some people too, like when you say like white supremacists, right? Like people use that way too much.
Yeah.
Like say you're my friend,
Yeah.
and I say some like slick shit to you, like a joke type thing, right?
Yeah.
And you say something back, oh, you're Italian, this and that, whatever.
Yeah.
That's different. But someone who's extreme in their mind, they'll be like, oh, they just had a racist interaction because they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm
Which
saying?
is ironic because usually those kind of jokes is a way to appreciate the other person's difference. You're making these jokes because you understand they're a stereotype. You understand it's not true. You understand their culture. So you can both laugh about
And
it.
it's funny. Like,
But would you guys say, like you guys said, like that experience to have and recognize that, like, is it because people don't go outside that they can't recognize things like that, or is it because just this generation that we're in, we're just
They go
soft
outside, but they never leave their home, like mentally.
What do you mean? Like elaborate on that.
I say home like somewhere that's your comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
So you know they're always walking around. They're talking to people. They're online. The amount of reach that you have with your phone is nothing we've seen before in history, right?
Yeah.
So you can talk to literally anyone from anywhere in any language. Okay, and yet despite all of that, people still stick to the same exact echo chambers. Okay, first of all, and then they get stuck in their ideologies where they approach a situation as I know this guy's wrong. Whatever he says, it's wrong. He's a Nazi. He's black. He's et cetera, et cetera. So already you're not gonna have a conversation. They're walking out. They're interacting, but they're not leaving their home, their comfort zone. They're not expanding their walls. So what's the point?
So who do you think is who's the blame for that?
the liberals.
Liberals?
In my opinion, they're the ones who promote it all the time. They
Yeah.
call everyone racist, this and that.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you something. Most of the people that I met that are liberal, this is gonna sound bad, but they don't have any diverse friends. The ones that I've met. Everyone I meet who's conservative, they all have all kinds of friends. That's just what I've seen in my personal experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So
do you think that's a bad thing?
Yes,
Why is
it's a
that?
bad thing that the liberal media promotes all this stuff because then people get it in their head that we have issues when we don't. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest. I think they both do. They're both guilty of the exact same thing. They just do it differently, and then one blames the other for doing the exact same thing. If you ask a liberal, they'll say, "Oh, it's the right-wing media," and they'll list the exact same thing you just listed, but for the right twist in a different way. For example, liberals lately are calling the conservatives fascists. The conservatives are calling liberals fascists too. They've been doing it. It's the same exact word used in the same incorrect manner. It's the same thing. That's why I don't believe in the whole left or right. Just do what makes sense. What's it matter if you're left or if you're right? If something doesn't make sense and is wrong, call it out. It's your duty as a Canadian. If you see something that's not right, that doesn't work, that's not good for the country and the people that care for the country, you got to call it out, whether you're left or right.
That's he's right.
Yeah.
I would say like I'm conservative, but I agree with you. That's
but-
the truth.
but-
I'm in the middle, but more to that side.
Yeah,
right?
because like I'll touch on that point because like I remember when I was growing up, like we're talking about politics. I thought being liberal, it's like you're nice and like those are the good guys, right?
Yeah.
But like as you get older, you realize that like being too nice is the reason why we're in this mess, and like the reason why a lot of people hate that side, the left, right? So like when you guys think of white people in general, like what do you guys think attributes to their decline of population?
Like when you say decline in population,
Like
you mean,
in terms of like the general, like for them.
oh,
Like
okay.
why is it that they're going down and like other races are going up?
Because of immigration. Because there's more immigrants coming from countries that are not white to Canada. Therefore, the white population is decreasing in Canada.
But what's stopping them from having kids though?
What's stopping them from having kids is because they want to party and have a good time, and that's the thing. I think it's a problem with the Canadian culture. And it's like I said, we were saying before the show went on, right? I was saying that I think it should be promoted more to have a family by the media. They should give. I know they already do give incentive, like we said before, right? But I feel like they should they should let people know there is more of an incentive, tax breaks, this and that, and like I just think it's the right thing to do. But a lot of white people, like white people in Canada, for example, like not from Europe or whatever, but in Canada, they want to be young forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people don't want to grow up.
No.
That's my opinion.
I kind of agree with that, but just a clarification. When you say there's a decline in white people, are you talking about the ratio in terms of white
Like
and non-white, or, or like
you
actual population?
Yeah,
numbers are
actual
going
population, like them in general.
down? Okay, well, there's a lot of things you can consider. First of all, there's generally white people are currently in the richer countries, whereas non-whites, you know, of all colors and denominations, are from poorer countries, where it is to your benefit to have more kids, right? So that's the first thing to consider. When you're in a richer country, it costs more, etc. You have more benefits. You have less reason to have more kids. You can have fewer and focus on each more. And it's also like you said, with all these comforts that exist in these advanced societies, is well now I mean I can spend more time with myself. Why try and help this young person when I can try and keep myself young? You know, because this is a lot of trouble. This thing that gets born, and then you got to take care of it, and then it grows up, and you got to deal with its issues. I got my own issues to deal with. It's very selfish. I think we've become very selfish.
But like,
and white people are just.
But like, remember, I told you guys before earlier. It's like, should there be an age limit for the people in power?
Yes.
And you said yes.
I said yes.
So like, what do you think should be the age limit for them to get out? Because a lot of the times when all of these old people that are there, they're there to preserve their power, and they'll do whatever they can. And then even if the decision fucks up the population or whatever, it's for their own interest, so they can stay there.
Okay, so let me say something first.
Yeah.
I personally like some of the stuff Trump does, but I also think he's too old to be in there. I think the age limit should be maybe 60 max, because when they get older, they have a different mentality from a different generation. They don't know what younger people are going through and how we think. There's a generational gap. Even for us right now, we're all in our 20s, right?
Yeah.
The younger people, there's going to be a huge gap between us and someone who's 16 right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if somebody's that old, for Trump for example, or whoever else, they don't get it.
Yeah.
So I think it should be at least 60.
16.
Even that might be too old.
Yeah.
But that would be the max, in my opinion.
Before I get to the question, I think what you said though with the gap where we are right now, again historic, I keep bringing this up, the gap between our generation and the ones before us is incredibly massive compared to before. Because in the past it was kind of a continuation, but technology is advancing so quickly, and we were born with it. Okay, we got to grow up with it and understand it,
100%.
and we are more connected. The gap is this issue that we're having might not exist for another who knows how long. The generation that's coming after us is closer to us than we are to our parents sometimes. Let's be honest, right? That's the first thing. But going to the age limit, I think it would be better to have an age limit, but you might be limiting candidates that might be better for the role just because they're slightly older. So I think instead, either you have an age limit, which is the easier solution. That's the easy solution that you can quickly implement. Or the more difficult solution is to have better or more rigorous way of phasing people out of the competition. But then it's a question of fairness and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So easiest is to have age limit. Otherwise, you need to test mental acuity, right? And then you have to test where their interests lie and make sure that they don't involve their family, like unfortunately like Trump has done. But there's these things that you have to keep an eye on.
So besides just age limit, what about, let's talk about qualifier. You know what I mean? Because not just anyone. We're not just gonna put anyone in office.
We're not going to put Kanye West.
Yeah, exactly. So like when we think about like the qualities that person should have besides age, like what should it be instead of just being leader, so quote unquote leader, or have money? Like what qualities would you guys think that person should have?
What do you think?
I think maybe the most important would be the ability to unite. Right? Because when you are in a position of leadership, you are in charge of different opinions. Okay? You don't have to understand everything. That's not your job. You have to be able to get these opinions to communicate with each other for you guys to come up with a solution to issues. Otherwise, nothing happens and things get worse. Or you go with a bad opinion, an incomplete idea because you didn't consult others. And if there's no unity, well, I mean, we can see what's happening in the world with division.
For what he said, I agree with the unity thing, But another thing too is I would like a leader who puts Canadian interests first, not other countries
100%.
where we don't live. I feel bad for those countries, but at the same time, if we have all these homeless people here, why are we concerned about what happens in Ukraine, for example? I feel bad for them, but once again, we should get rid of our homeless problem first. You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
So like, just to touch on that, like obviously when we see things like that happen, imagine one day you see the government send $30 billion, next week they send $10 billion, and then the following week $5 billion.
I don't like that.
How do you guys feel?
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, if you look at our streets, we have problems. We have homeless people everywhere. We have drugs everywhere. Why is it that we're sending money to a country that's not our problem and that we don't live there? And like I said, once again, I feel bad for those people, but it's not our responsibility. You know what I mean?
I remember I had this discussion with my cousin. He said that like, instead of recruiting people to come in the country, we should help these people fix themselves instead of those people coming here.
You're saying like fix their own countries.
Yeah, like, or you help them fix their country instead of having people come here, because it's like if I ask me and him, like if I brought our parents here on the podcast and asked them this question, hey, would you rather, like if life was good, would you rather stay here or go back home? 90% would stay. Let's just go back home.
The only problem with that is, say Canada or America tries to help another country, that could create problems because they're coming there with Western values, and that country might not have those Western values. They might have a different way of thinking, so they would think of it as invaders trying to fix their country.
But I feel like that's one of the biggest problems. Like, why do you need Western values? Like,
I think the approach is incorrect. It's not to give Western values or to impose Western values. It's more an exposure to Western living, because values and living are different. For example, quality of life. Our understanding of free speech is different from, say, Dubai. Okay, so it's not so much value as it is a sharing of understanding and how things could be. Then they can use their way of thinking to interpret that, and that's fine. I think that's how it should be.
Because like I remember I was watching this. I read somewhere it says the biggest thing that the best way to impose yourself to someone else is to go after their freedom, and that's why you see other countries, they always come with that idea of democracy, democracy, and that's how they get in these countries, and then they destroy it, and then they get out. So like back to the point, like I said, if I brought our parents here, right? Our parents would rather go back home if life was good, but because the life is so poor, we're here because it's quote unquote safe, right? Or better living.
Yeah, better quality.
That's
Quality of living.
Yeah, quality of living. So like when you like see like the amount of immigrants that have come in recently, like how do you view that? How's your view on that?
I think it's a problem. And the reason I think it's a problem is because, for example, the amount of immigrants coming from India is too many. And then when they take over a business, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, they take over a business, who do they hire? Their own people.
Yeah.
Who do they not hire? Me, you, or you.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a problem because when you have the youth, where are they going to work? When I was 16, I was working at Wendy's. 15, 16, right? I was doing all these kind of jobs. Everyone I worked with was my age. And the thing is, it was also diverse. I wasn't just working with white people. I was working with brown people, black people, Asian people, all kinds of people, but we were all the same age. The managers were older and that was fine. But now when I go somewhere and I see only one race of people, is that not kind of... That's kind of discriminatory, right? Because they're not hiring anyone else.
So... Wait, do you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So just that, I do agree with you, especially with Indian people currently in Canada. There is a big issue of, if you look at construction companies, and I'm sure if you work in construction, you will understand. If it's owned by someone who's from India, they will mostly hire Indians. They will have less qualifications than you do, but their biggest qualification is they can speak the same language and understand the same culture. It's not their fault. I don't think it's the immigrants' fault. I think it's your system that
allows them.
It doesn't just allow it, but it actually forces it, right? You have I think a city in Ontario where 60%, 60% is Indian, but they never merged with the culture. That's a difference when our parents came here. right? When we came here, we had to merge our culture with this
With
one.
their culture, yeah.
Yeah. So you're proud to be Canadian because you've learned what it is to be Canadian without losing your previous identity. You're both, right? But when you come here and you are sped through the process so quickly, you don't have time to merge. So you stick with your culture, and then you're kind of lost, and then you see, oh, here's someone else who's the same culture. So you start sticking, and then it grows and it grows and it grows, and then you end up in such a bubble that you don't even have to leave it. Why do I need to learn to speak better English if I can just get by with Punjab?
And the only time I think it's okay to hire your own race only, say you have a Japanese restaurant, that's okay. Hire your own race. You have a Nigerian restaurant, only Nigerian people. Italian restaurant, only Italian people. That's the only time I think it's okay. But when it comes to everything else, it has to be you hire who's ever qualified. You know what I'm saying?
But even your point with restaurants is due to qualification. How are you going to present Japanese culture if the person I'm hiring
Is not Japanese.
You know, they're saying like ni hao, which isn't even you know.
Yeah.
So it is a qualification thing. It's not even a race thing.
Yeah.
It's just like you said. It should be qualification.
But
first.
you agree with that, right? Like, say I
100%.
walk into a Japanese restaurant, I expect all Japanese people to be working because I know the food's gonna be authentic or whatever. When I go to Tim Hortons, I don't expect one race to be working only. Because to me, it's Tim Hortons, it's Canadian, it's supposed to be all Canadians.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I go to Tim Hortons, I don't even expect my donuts to be good. it is. No, I have no expectations now when I go there.
Okay, so
But yeah.
just to touch on, so I had this discussion with like a group of white guys the other day, right? So and I asked them this question: what's stopping you guys from doing the exact same thing? Why can't you guys do it? Like, why is it like Africans can't do that? Why is it Italians can't do that? Why can't if we see that one group is doing it, why can't we, another group, do it? What's stopping us?
Well, the thing is, some white people do that, but it depends what you're considering as white people. Like, are you considering Italian people as white people?
No, like in general, like my question is like, why? Okay, we see that Indians like, are doing this, right?
Yeah.
And we're not hating on Indians. We're just
Yeah,
telling
we're
how it is.
not. Yeah,
we're just telling how it is.
Yeah.
Like, why is it that like other groups or races can't do that as well? Like, what's stopping them?
I don't know. I just feel like other races don't
it's
do
like,
that.
you know what I mean? Like,
I
why
would say
not?
they are. I would say they are.
They are.
I mean,
why is that?
And I think the issue is, like I said, when you're bringing too many people at once,
Yeah.
without giving them time
To
or
settle in?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, look at the Ukrainians. Do they not have Ukrainian communities? There was people we hired that couldn't even speak English. We had to do the interview in Ukrainian to English. Yeah. So how come they get the job when the person who can speak English and French and who had to learn it doesn't get the job?
Facts.
It's not just Indians. With I'm just using them because it is the most
Most common.
it's the easiest one to see.
Yeah.
But Ukrainians, for example, do it. Even black people. I mean, come on, we know our own people. Let's be honest. And it just is with every race.
But it depends. If you have a black guy who's born in Canada, I don't think he's just gonna hire black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's different. But if you have someone who is an immigrant, a new immigrant who's just got here, he may hire his own people only. But it's different.
But
if they're
even then, here's where it gets interesting. Even then, that new immigrant might not hire the black guy who was born here. There is a prejudice between the black people that are fresh off the boat versus the ones that grew up here. So it's not even a race thing. It's just a question of culture. I'm gonna hire the guy who can speak my language and understand my culture.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the so-called freedom of speech, right?
Okay.
So when white people do it compared to other races, like, do you guys feel like they can't do it, or they can do it, but they're too scared to do it?
The thing is, I feel like if they do it, they get hated on more.
Yeah.
But it depends what kind of white person you are. If you're the kind of guy who's like, I don't know, soft, and you can't handle people saying shit back to you, like they don't like what you're saying, like you can't be defensive. You got to say what's on your mind. You know what I mean? Speak your mind. Obviously, be respectful. But I feel like, like a lot of white people, they have to be careful what they say because people get offended. And I don't, like I said before, I don't think normal people get offended. I think extreme people get offended.
Because like for me, it's crazy for me. Like I could go on TV, national TV, and say I hate white people.
Yeah.
But a white person couldn't say I hate black people.
Yeah.
There's a great clip. It's hilarious. It had to do with the N-word. He's like, oh, well, how come the black people are saying the N-word, et cetera, et cetera. And then the black guy goes, well, okay, you say it. I goes, well, it's exactly what you're saying. I think part of it is ignorance. And also, it's not free speech if you can't say whatever you want to say. I think, what was his name? Ricky Gervais, I like this quote because he said, paraphrasing. But if you want free speech, you gotta be ready for someone to say the most vile, fucked up shit. That's what free speech is. You could hate it. It could be the most offensive shit to you, but it's his free speech. If you want it, you gotta give it. You can't just say, "Oh, I want my free speech, but not yours."
But so like when we talk about free speech, that term free speech, does it actually exist? Or is it just put out there?
I don't think it exists as much as we like to think.
Wait, hold on. Let me backtrack here. So compared to like what it was like 10 years ago, like how different is it, would you say?
I think it is different because if you look at movies and like
Yeah.
comedy sketches back then,
Yeah.
people would say all kinds of shit, and no one would get offended.
Yeah.
It'd be funny. You know what I mean? Like if you watch what's that movie, Rush Hour?
Yeah.
You watch that movie, listen to the shit they say.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, I was just thinking about that one scene where Chris Tucker comes in and then the lady calls him Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. Yeah.
See, but now if you put that out, people will be offended,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know what happened. Like I don't know why people get so offended, but it's like it's all love. Like people
It's all
make
love.
jokes. Like
It's
when
all
we
love.
joke around each other with race and shit,
Yeah.
that should be all love because we're friends. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, you don't do that with people that aren't your friends.
Yeah.
But with your friends, you could
Yeah.
joke like that, or even movies. Like those guys are friends. They make a movie together. It's funny. You know?
No, but like the fact that you said even if you're not friends,
Yeah.
like even like back then, like I used to hear a lot of racist shit all the time. You know what I mean? It wouldn't affect me like at all. Even
You
today,
wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
But like today, you say something slightly racist. Oh, the world comes down to
And people get offended. I
people
know.
come down
Yeah.
to you.
Generally, I think just ignorance.
Yeah.
And it's so ironic because the amount that we have in our pocket of information and just understanding that we could obtain,
Yeah.
and yet we choose, and it's people getting offended for others.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you getting offended for me?
Yeah, exactly. That's
uh,
true. Yeah.
Let me laugh. I'm laughing. I've had people actually get offended for a joke that I made about my own people. And I'm saying this as someone who understands. And we both understand that this is a stereotype and it's a joke and we're all laughing and no one means anything by it. But they get offended for me, oh, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah. Like remember at work, I used to say explosive or Arab. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like things like that, you can't go in public and say those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then whenever we can't find something, I'd be like, oh, Raf, where's the forks? Where'd you take them? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we live in such different times that like I feel like we try to do so much good that it's affected us. So like now let's switch up to the woke stuff. Like in terms of like, because I know what like how much would you guys say it has affected?
Oh, the woke shit is bad.
Yeah.
It's
How
so
much?
bad.
How
People
much?
are way too extreme with it all the time,
Yeah.
man. But the thing is, it's mostly online.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, in real life, the people you meet, you may meet a few people like that, but most people you meet are not like that. It just depends on the circle you're in. You know?
Actually, I'm gonna get to that. Is it for you because you stick to circles that are kind of like you, that you haven't met people like that?
True. Yeah, that might be true. I stick to people like more like me, the same mindset, and it doesn't matter their race. You know what I mean? Like I have homies that are black. One of my best friends is Native, right? But we think the same. That's what I'm saying. So I don't. When I meet people like that who are like super woke, it's weird to me.
Yeah.
Because I meet them and they have this weird view of the world that doesn't exist from my perspective. You know what I mean?
But like when we talk about that woke stuff, like because obviously that woke stuff does affect the educational system a lot, right?
Too much.
So like in terms of like the next generation, like when we like how much effect does that have on them? Like, or what do you guys think their prediction is?
I think it's going to make them a little too sensitive. And I think that's a problem. Because you shouldn't be that sensitive, especially when you're an adult, because, you know, life is not easy. So you got to be able to handle when people say shit you don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like if somebody says some shit about like your culture,
Yeah.
you can't be soft and be like, oh, I'm offended. I'm going to like, you know, cry about it or whatever. Like you got to just say some shit back, you know?
Facts.
That's
So,
what I think.
what do we, in terms of the woke thing in the educational system and in the next generation?
I think where woke started is very different where it is now, right? I think woke at the start was about exposing to people who are very closed off that there's other cultures. Where it is now is it's actually flipped the script where it's no longer about opening doors, but now you're closing every single door.
Wait, can you give me an example? Like,
Like for example, we could attribute the woke shit to, for example, when you're talking to someone who's racist. Oh, I don't fucking like black people. They're just so dirty, et cetera, right? But that was considered woke to tell them no, you have to be accepting. You have to black people marrying white people, like a black guy marrying a white girl. That was a big issue. It still is, if we're being honest, to some people. That was considered woke. Oh, this new generation, blah 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 blah. But where it's at now is instead of opening doors to more interaction, you're closing it. Where you're giving prejudice and getting offended, right? And you're preventing doors from being opened. You're now causing issues that are preventing people from growing. You're keeping them stuck in rooms.
So, like, if I'm a white person, right? Like, how do I maneuver in this woke world if what I say can get me crucified, canceled, or killed? Or, like, how do I just maneuver? Or if what I say or do gets me judged? Like, do I have hope? Is there anything?
Well, for me personally,
Yeah.
I say whatever I want, and
Yeah.
no one can tell me what I can't say.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I'm not like the kind of guy where I'm gonna I get in a room with a bunch of people that don't look
Yeah.
like me, and I'm gonna be a pussy and not say what the fuck I want to say. You know what I mean? So, I think if you're a white person, you gotta say what you want to say, but you gotta be respectful. You can't be disrespectful to no one. It doesn't matter who they are. You know what I mean? Like even, for example, other races, like. Personally, like maybe some black people, some whatever, they might look at white people a certain way too. You know what I mean? It goes both ways. It goes for everyone, right? But I think that you should just say what you want to say. Just be respectful how you say it. You know.
But how can you be respectful when there's like serious topics that have to be like put out there? Like, if you can be respectful.
Well, you have a respectful discussion, right?
But like, how many people have that? Like, and that, you see, that's the biggest problem I have. I feel like there's a lot of stupid people that you can't have that discussion, and I feel like that's what kills it.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's lots of stupid people that you can't talk with.
Like you see how we're having a discussion right now.
Yeah.
Like, how many people could just sit down like this and actually just sit down and listen without saying, "Hey, you're a fascist. Hey, you're a racist." You know what I mean?
I think more people could actually do that than you think. It's just like I said before with the media, they're showing you the people that can't handle it. Right?
So they don't have the platform to do it.
They don't have the platform.
today.
Yes, that's what I think. What do you think?
I think I agree with you. I think most people would just sit down and talk, and at the end of the day, they'll disagree, but they'll learn from it and they'll go their way. There's instances where someone hates a race, but they live together fine on a neighborhood, and you ask them, you're like, yeah, he's racist, but we're chill. It is what it is. You need to be open though. If you don't have a society that's open, and you gotta teach that from when you're young. If you're not open, you're just gonna cause issues.
So if I ask you as this question, right? Let's look back 10 years from now. Like, how different is the world it was 10 years? Like, as it is now, how different is it when you guys look at it?
Oh, I'd say it's very different.
Yeah. So, like, 10 years ago, how did you view the world now versus how you view like...
10 years ago, I didn't think about all this political woke shit.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Never. Like now, but nowadays it's so much in your face that you can't escape it.
Wait, do you think about it because you're an adult now, it's gonna affect you based on like the people you interact with, or eventually you're gonna have kids with who or who you're gonna marry? Is that way? It's more like you're more aware of it?
I think maybe because I'm an adult. I think that's the main thing, that I'm an adult and it's more in my face. And then the politics, it affects my life, right? With like cost of living and everything, right? But when it comes to the woke thing, also it's like that's everywhere. You can't escape it, bro. If you pull out your phone, you'll see it nonstop. You know?
Here's a question.
Yeah.
At what point would you think that you become an adult?
At what point? I think 25 when your
25.
brain is developed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how come there's people that, like we said, 30 years old are in the club? That's not very adult-like. That's not very responsible.
Like I said before, I think that's Canadian culture,
I feel like,
bro.
No, Canadian culture, and also perspective, experience, and then values, and then being able to understand what you want in life, right? Like, if I know what I want in life at 25, 23, I'm not going to be wasting my time in the club. Right?
Yeah.
If I have, if I know, like, if I want a family, I have a career, whoop to whoop, you know what I mean? But like, if I have a lot of money and I know I can just splash it whatever I want, I'll probably just go in the club and waste my time, right? Maybe I'll take that route, right? So like, it comes down to the perspective in life that we have and experience. Everyone is different, right? maybe that 40-year-old person, he probably didn't have that experience or mindset that he should have versus someone who's 18 or 21. And I think that's why he's there.
So you're saying you have to find a sense of self.
Yeah,
That's when you become
self and self. Set a value or purpose,
okay.
right? Like, what do you want to do in life? Or sometimes those people, they work a 9 to 5, and that's the only time they can run away from their wife, and then and then hide there. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think you summed it up pretty well.
Yeah.
It's just a sense of self, like
Sense of self,
who you are once. Because let's be honest, there's adults that are 60 years old. You talk to them and you just wonder how this guy has kids. You know, and they're adults, and then you're sitting there like, and you're going, your kids must be terrible to interact with. You know what I mean? But then there's kids that have been through shit, and when you talk with them, you're like, damn, this is. Yeah, I could learn from this 7-year-old. If I just listen to what he has to say, I could learn from it, even though he's younger.
How much do you think that affects the population?
What do you mean that affects the population?
Like, because you see in this side of the world,
Yeah.
like anyone has kids, and we know guys that have baby mamas 3 and 4, right? Like, how much does that have an effect on the population?
I think the guy who's 60 and he still hasn't found a sense of self and he has kids. I think those kids were accidents. Let's keep it a buck here.
Yeah.
I think those kids were accidents. He wasn't really into it because I doubt that with a sense of self, you're ready to help someone else find themselves.
But if that person has those 3 kids, right? And like we said, remember we said a parent's biggest thing is being present. If that guy isn't present in that kid's life, right? Those are probably 3 potential criminals that come in society.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I asked that question. If that guy has kids, how much of a threat or an effect does that have in society?
Oh, bad effect.
Bad effect.
Because like a kid who doesn't have a father,
Yeah.
there's a high chance he'll be overly emotional, which means he'll make more mistakes. He may do criminal shit. He may have mental health problems, right? So the father's got to be present. I think if you have multiple baby mamas, to me that's whack. In my opinion, it's whack.
Yeah.
Because like, why are you not there for your children?
Wait, let me ask
You
this.
know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask this question. If I have multiple baby mamas,
Yeah.
but I have the financial resources to take care of them, can
I still
get a
think
pass?
it's whack, in my
Why?
opinion.
Why is that?
Because I feel like you should pick the right wife. You should be with that wife, and you should be there with the kids all the time. You know what I mean? So like, I just think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Morally, I think it's
Morally,
wrong. You know what I mean?
But like, what makes it wrong? Is it because he can't have the sense of settling down, or he just wants to?
I think it's irresponsible. You're being irresponsible. You want to have fun. You want to have multiple baby mamas, this and that. Like you should have not even had a kid then if you want to live that lifestyle. You know what I mean? You should have been smart enough to wrap it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think that the other reason is because time? Like, let's say I have 8 baby mamas.
Yeah.
No, not 8, but like
That's crazy.
I have
That's
8
like
kids.
future.
Yeah. The funny, okay, just a side note. I remember Young Thug when he released his calls from jail. He called him a retard because he's never there for his kids, right? And then because I'm more mature now and I've listened to like what a lot of people say, and the reason why I agree with him is because as a man, if you remember, we talk about the biggest thing as a man, as a parent, being present.
Yeah.
If you're not there, it affects the kid, right? So if I have 8 kids and I'm traveling all the time, when do I have time for?
You don't have time for your kids.
Not at all.
No.
And it does affect them.
I think I do have to clarify though.
Yeah.
When I'm saying at least being present, I don't mean being like a helicopter parent.
Yeah.
Be around, keep an eye on your child. I think you would agree with
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Let them make the mistakes. Let them explore the world, but keep an eye. And whenever they start going like this, you bring them back like that.
So like, in terms of parenting, because, you know, like when I grew up compared to like the other races, like I remember one time I was at soccer, and I saw this kid tell their dad, "Shut up," and all the black kids were all like, you know what I mean? So like now that like you guys are matured and stuff, like in terms of like discipline, would you guys say that you guys would be hard or would you guys be soft? Because, and especially with all the woke nonsense that's around.
Oh, like if my kid told me to shut up?
No, like in terms of like raising like in discipline.
Oh,
Like,
if my kid told me to shut up, boom. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Even if you tell your mom to shut up,
Yeah.
boom, same thing, bro.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you're trying to say, like, you're saying that's only like a black thing. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying it's a black thing.
Yeah.
But like, I'm saying compared to like the
Like,
He's saying the culture when he
Yeah,
came here, what he
culture.
observed.
Oh, you're saying the Canadian culture?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, because I was shocked. Like, we all looked at the kid. Like,
Yeah.
the kid telling his
Yeah,
dad,
yeah.
"Shut up."
Yeah,
the
and,
cat
and
is-
it is true. I observed the same
Yeah,
thing.
so like for you guys, like when you guys are raising kids, like how, like would you guys keep that same mindset of back home, or would you guys?
No, same mindset back home.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like I told you before, I'm Italian, bro.
Yeah.
So when the Canadian kids tell their parents to shut up, it's
Yeah.
not the same for us because my culture is different.
Yeah.
Now
It's very familial.
we do, yes, exactly. Like
Yeah.
so we do some Canadian stuff, obviously, because we assimilated. You know, we want to fit in or whatever. But at
Yeah.
the same time, we still keep our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you talk to people that are white, right, but they're from European countries, it's
Yeah.
not going to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know the crazy thing I always hear from like the white kids is, especially the parents.
Yeah.
Because my parents were tough and the trauma that I went.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like, do you guys think that has an effect on them raising the kid?
I think to a degree, yes.
Uh-huh.
To a degree, but I think again they're taking it to extremes.
Mhm.
Sure, you've been traumatized, but by abstaining from any form of punishment or teaching, you're now creating a bigger issue for your child. You've prevented them from having issues in their childhood, only to cause them bigger issues in their adulthood.
But like, let's say I'll give you an scenario, right? Let's say me, I have a kid, right? My parents used to starve me, used to beat me, and these sexual abuse me, right? So like, how do you have that discussion with that individual? So you tell them like, hey, you went through this, but you still have to discipline your kid, because if you let them do too much of this,
They'll walk all over you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so is there a way to present that? Is there a way to actually have that discussion?
I think there is. I think there is, but it depends who you're talking to. Everyone's different. You might, you could just lay it down for them. Like, hey, all of this you've gone through is shitty. Okay? But your child, when he grows up, if he doesn't understand and he's not properly educated and he's left to do whatever he wants to do, not understanding limits, where's the limit for him when he grows up to not become like your parents? You know what I mean? Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. I also think that there's a problem in the West
Yeah.
where they, like what you said there with the sexual abuse, remember? That's obviously justified, right?
Yeah.
But if you are a kid, or not a kid, you're an adult, you're like,
Yeah.
my parents were mean to me.
Yeah.
They didn't buy me the Switch. I'm traumatized. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because there's people in other countries,
Yeah.
they grew up around war, poverty. I don't see them act like that. So why are you acting like that? You know what I mean? You agree with that?
Actually, I think all those kids have a degree of appreciation for that kind of upbringing because thanks to it, they've been built a bit tougher
Tougher, yes, yeah.
to survive those conditions. So then meeting people that are kind of like Jello, you know, it's hard to share the experience when you can't get them to relive it. But you do need to teach them from a young age. Because when they grow up, they will be an issue to society at large. I'm not saying they'll be criminals, but they'll be pushing ideologies that are just gonna set us back a few years, like which is what's going on now.
Yes, yeah.
So now let's talk about the government that we have today, right? Like, obviously, this is a white man's country, naturally, right? Should their values be ahead of, sorry, not their values, but should their needs be ahead of everyone else, or
Okay,
should
well-
everyone else's?
Well, first of all, it's actually a native country.
No, but hold on.
Getting
The reason
yourself in
why,
big trouble
no,
there.
no, hold on. No, I did that on purpose, right? I'm not, and the reason why I did it on purpose is because the ones who are in power are, right?
Or white.
Whites. Yeah. So my question is, in terms of the government, should their needs be ahead of everyone else, or should everyone else's concern be ahead?
I think that the government is already doing a job of having everyone's needs. To be honest, I don't really think that the government is in any way more. How do you say this? Like, it's not more directed to white people.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone, in my opinion.
So because it's directed to white people, how bad of an effect? Because realistically, there's no good. That's why I didn't ask if there's no good. So like, how bad of an effect does that have long term?
What do you think?
I think he misheard him. He said it's not directed for white people.
Yeah,
No, but I know that, but like, and he said it's for everyone, right?
it's for everyone. It's not
so
just about
yeah,
white people.
so
Yeah.
the negative, like
I don't think there's a really bad negative. I think the only issue is when it's mismanaged, because you have such a when you're doing it for everyone, there's a lot of different needs.
But like, how can you have it? How can it be good if you invite, let's say, a certain culture from a certain country? You favor that country more. Like, how can it be good? How can it be good if those people are taking over?
Well, we're going to go back to the question of culture and merging. If you're working for the Canadian people, if you're being in, and if there's a lot of people coming in, you're just going to make sure they're Canadian too. I'm not telling you to erase their culture, but merge them into it. If they're Canadian and you're working for the Canadian people, it doesn't matter if he's black or not, because then that person will also be working for Canadian interests. Then there's no issue.
Yes.
If you're Canadian, I'm Canadian, and we're all working for Canadian interests, there's no issue. But if you bring them and they're still stuck in the ways of their country, in the laws of their country, in the conflicts of their countries, right? And you bring that here, then that person is not working for Canadian interests.
So is it because we bring too many, or is it just?
Well, the question of too many is limited by how much we can offer, right? As it stands right now, our system cannot support as much as we can bring in. If we had a bigger system, we can bring as much as the system can.
Yeah.
But it can't. The issue is that we're bringing in so many people, and we're, for very obvious reasons, if you think back, I think it was the Syrians when Trudeau brought them in.
Yeah.
He said in 3 years you can have your citizenship. I think it was them. I can't remember.
Yeah.
In 3 years, that's wild. It used to be at least 5 years and up to 7.
5 or 4. Yeah.
Just
Okay,
when we're talking actual process, 5 to 7. But in 3 years you would have your citizenship. Well, what's going on at the end of the third year? Elections. And you're bringing 3 million new voters who are going to vote for the guy who let them in.
Yes.
They don't understand anything else about the country. It's impossible in 3 years. Okay? There's a lot of reasons for it. And you have to make sure the system serves Canadian interests. Okay? And it makes sure that people coming in will also learn to not only serve Canadian interests, but do it loving.
So like, as you touched on Canadian interest first, in terms of the identity, right? What do you guys think it is? Like, because I had a question on there, right? Like, what is, like, if you guys could say, what is white people's culture besides mashed potatoes, hockey, and beer? Like, what is it?
You're saying Canadian culture, not white culture.
No, like, what culture? Like, what is it?
Well, the thing is, this is where I'm gonna have to disagree.
Yeah.
Because if you take a white person like me and you put me next to a Russian, we're both white, but do we have the same culture?
No.
Not at all.
No. But like in general, like, what is it? What is their culture? Like, if you could think, what is it?
Okay, can I?
What is it?
I don't believe in it. White
You
culture.
You don't think they have?
I don't think it exists.
No?
I think there's Canadian culture, Italian culture, German culture. Even the same thing too. When people say African culture,
Yeah.
is there African culture? I don't think so.
You
I
can't
think
take a
there's
Moroccan,
because think about this
Algerian,
for example.
South African.
Yes, a Somalian. Does he
yeah.
have the same culture as a Nigerian?
No.
Not at all, right? So that's why I think that when people say there's race cultures,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even like when people say Asian culture, well, what the fuck is that? Japanese people don't have the same culture as Chinese people.
No.
It's totally different, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Actually, a good maybe thought experiment we could do is look into the culture of white people in South Africa and compare it to other places. You could also look at the history of the Irish, if we're talking just white people. If you go to the US many, many years back, it would say no Negroes and no Irishmen.
Or Italians.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
It's
Italians.
true. Italians, ask him. Italians
Yeah.
weren't
Oh,
considered
sure.
white people until
Oh
when?
yeah. They were not human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same as black people back then.
Yeah.
You couldn't, if you were coming into a bar and you were Irish, right, and you were coming in with a black guy, you wouldn't go, oh, white guy can come in, black guy can go out. They'd be like, what the fuck are you guys
They say
doing?
you both can't come. Even Italians, they would hang Italian people. Look it up. Same thing.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I knew there was racism, like
Yeah.
for the Italians, but I didn't know it was from that extreme.
It was that extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Italian,
Oh, yeah,
Irish,
totally.
and black people all the same.
Wait, how come that part of history is not talked about?
Because I don't know.
No, but
I'm not sure.
but hold on. That is important though.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want, like, you can't just, and the reason why I say that is because it's part of history, and like the reason why I say it's important is because like it's bound to happen again. Number one, and people are going to be ignorant, right? But like, the reason why I say it's important is because most people think that all white people together are the same, right? And throughout the show, you've been telling me that no,
They're not the
there's
same.
not the same. There's
Not
the
at
same.
all, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think it's important. But like, sorry, I gotta ask you this question. like the racism that you guys felt, like how bad was it, or like how was it?
So for me, I haven't felt any racism. Like,
Yeah.
people say slick shit, right?
Yeah.
About me eating, like mortadella sandwich or something, right? When I was a kid, they're like, "What the fuck is that?" Or I
Or
bring
the
pasta
hand
to
changes
school,
like
right?
this.
Yeah.
So they say slick shit, but that's
Yeah.
whatever to me.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about the history of Italians, they were not treated like white people.
Yeah.
Like white people, like American, Canadian white
Yeah.
people for a long time. Until when? When do you think? After World War II, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a bit of a reset mentally because a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of people that were living comfortably were no longer living comfortably.
Wait,
so
so
you
like-
have to associate.
Like, as a white person, like how would I know if a person is Italian?
How would
they're
you
both-
know?
if they're both white?
Well, you can
Based-
tell.
The
you-
accent.
Well, what do you mean? Look at me.
Yeah.
I look Italian.
I'm
You
Walk
wanna-
around. No. Here.
No. Like if you didn't, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I don't know. Like I'm. Fuck.
Okay, well, let me see this.
Yeah.
For example, if you see two different kinds of white people, can you tell that they're not the same? You can't tell. So if you see an Italian and you see a German, can you not tell the difference between them?
Well, a German looks angry. And
Well, for example, the features.
Yeah.
So Germans would be more
No,
blonde and lighter.
for me, like a German would have to talk, and then if he looks angry, I would assume he's German. Like, you'd have to talk.
Well, even for example, like take Africans, right? If I see someone from Somalia, I could tell that he looks different than somebody from South Africa or Nigeria or wherever, right? You could tell they look different, right? And I think it's the same thing with white people. For me personally, if I see different kinds of white people, I could tell what they are usually.
So what features like you tell them?
How do you explain? Like, I don't know, like
No,
beard, darker.
Pizza hats. We used
Pizza
to-
hats.
Oh, now for me, like most common is the accent. That's how I know. But like,
Well, without the accent, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like you know what I'm saying? Like you could just tell.
Example, Germans. If I see someone who's taller and skinnier versus someone who's shorter and stockier, the stockier and shorter one might be Italian.
Yeah.
You'll see them maybe do a change.
Yeah.
The type of beard style.
Yeah.
There's small things that are similar to certain regions,
Yes.
and then the rest of it comes from the accent. You're like, oh, actually, he's not Polish, he's German.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like I could tell mostly. You know what I mean?
If you've met enough people, you'll have an idea.
Yeah.
fucking nah. For me, you just start speaking, and then I'll know if you're German, if you're Italian, if you're Bosnian. Just tell me that.
But that's why I'm saying that,
Yeah.
I don't believe in white culture.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't exist. I think
Yeah.
culture is whatever nation you're from,
Yeah.
whatever country you're from, right?
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Do you agree with that?
No, I do, but I would go further. I would even say it's down to your local community. Someone from Victoria Island, very different from someone from Winnipeg. Like they might even look down on us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
those hicks over in the plains.
But to me, that's Canadian culture, but those are like subcultures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
but
what
there's
I
no
think.
race culture. I think is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's
And
what
I
I'm
would
trying to say.
agree.
Like when it comes, like when people like say like you're white or you're black, like to me that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because you may be black, but are you the same as somebody from another country? Absolutely not. And that's the same with white people, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
African American versus actual African, entirely different.
Entirely
personalities.
different.
Entirely
Different. It's just not even.
Yeah. Yeah. So last thing, like I want to touch on, if you guys were to predict, like, how the world will be 10 years from now, you can't say World War III or we're gonna be dead. Like, what do you think it's gonna be? Like, if you were to predict.
What do you think? You could go first.
Oh, this is a heavy question.
Yeah.
The world is changing a lot, and very very quickly. There's like, as we stand right now, we're at a bit of a crossroads. Okay, we have a crossroad where the U.S. continues and strengthens its domination, and that could come with a slew of issues, right? With their population, their identity is kind of getting lost, and that could affect the broader world because it gets exported. Or we could have a world that's dominated by China, and then their values and cultures might start getting integrated, right? It could be a shift away from Europe towards Africa. A lot of African nations we know are starting to find their identity and to solidify and to grow their economies and to look for better deals with countries that have been taking advantage of them. It's hard to tell. Whatever it is, though, I think we should go back to just our family values. and teaching community, right? If we teach everyone to take care of each other, no matter where we're at, we're gonna be looking out for each other, right? It's tough. It's a crossroads. Maybe you can read the future if you have a better idea.
Honestly, bro, you sound way smarter than me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, like I wouldn't say like no, because like we all have like our experiences and how we say things, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, like okay, do you guys think that like God just needs to hit the reset button, blow everything up, and
No,
go back?
absolutely not.
So how do we go back to having those values if we're so far gone, and especially with technology and AI that's coming?
I think
How?
I think the way to fix it is the woke shit needs to die. It needs to be stopped being promoted, and they need to promote family again, and things will be fixed.
But like, how do you promote family if people have the right to not choose that if they don't want it? How do you prove? You know what I
They
mean?
should have the right to choose it if they don't want it.
Yeah.
But I think that it should be promoted more because, like we were saying before, in other cultures, it is promoted more, and they, in my opinion, they may be poorer.
Yeah.
But they have a bigger sense of community, and they have,
Facts.
you know, like
100%.
they're more close. It's a family.
Yeah,
It's loving
family.
more,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it's better.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that will fix society
Yeah, yeah.
in the West.
You know, personally, I feel like if people had that sense, like you said, and I feel like those people, they've probably had it, but they've never felt it. Maybe because of the dialogue or the experience.
Yeah.
But if they've had it, they'd love it 100%. Because family, that's your sense of belonging. That's where you find your, I wouldn't say purpose because your experience in life
Is your
you
own.
choose,
Yeah.
right? But your values, that's where it comes from, and that's where your safe place is. And I feel like a lot of those people, because they don't have that, that's where they go to that, right? And like you said, because we don't promote the family thing, that's what's killing our.
It's creating a lot of problems.
Exactly.
Lots.
Yeah.
And like I said, also one last thing, it's like I keep saying, the media, bro. They keep pushing all these issues that you don't see on your day-to-day life.
Facts.
So
100%.
it's my opinion.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think people, just in general, humans, are it's a cycle. We're gonna like something, and then we're gonna hate it. And we're gonna like that same thing, and then we're gonna hate it. And we're gonna keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's the same with this. You don't really need to promote it. People are just getting tired of it. Like, you don't have one single figure that's talking about it. There's just more and more and more voices. Because people are getting increasingly more fatigued by it. Have you ever struggled so much you had to eat the same pizza or sandwich every single day? Do you know what it's like to sit there and go, man, fucking tuna again? You know? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You just get tired of it.
Yeah.
And people want change.
Okay, if we took all these like woke people, right, and we switched all the people that are struggling right now, how do you think, or how would they survive, or how do you think the experience would go for them?
How would the woke people survive?
Yeah, how do you think it would go for them?
They can't survive.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? A lot of them don't work. They
Yeah.
protest every day. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, come on, that's
You know what's
full
funny?
time. That's full time.
You
You
know what I
got
was
it.
thinking about when I asked you that question? You remember in COVID, all the people taking all the toilet papers?
That's
Oh,
what-
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
That
that's
was
what I was
weird,
thinking.
bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because like, I remember our coworker, he said like a lot of people wouldn't survive. It's just because of that reason. They don't know how to adapt.
They don't know how to adapt.
They're too comfortable.
They're too soft.
Exactly.
too. Yeah.
So my last question is this: do you guys think bullying should be allowed?
Ooh, this is a tough one, bro.
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't be hardcore. Like, there shouldn't be hardcore bullying. Like,
No,
I
no.
shouldn't be picking you on
Yeah.
you every day for like some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
But like the reason why I'll disagree on that is because in certain pedigree of life, the higher you go, the best or at best you have to be, right? You shouldn't have to sacrifice your values or moral just so that person can be accepted. You see what I'm saying?
okay. Well, when you said bullying, though, like, I think you could clown somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I
No,
could.
but it's at that person's
Expense.
expense to recognize that, hey, I have to be better. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, when do you think it's okay to bully someone? I'm just curious. Like, what do you think?
I was gonna say whenever, but They're gonna cancel me if I say this.
No, you can't say. Okay, you can't bully
No,
someone
okay,
whenever. But I mean, if they're doing something,
If
that's
they're doing something
whack,
wrong, yeah.
then
Like
you
I'll give you an
can-
example. Like where you work, right? If someone's not doing what they're supposed to do and they come in every day and you can't fire them, how do you motivate them to get better? You can't just be
You can't. Yo, I see what you're saying.
yeah. You gotta like push them, right? And this is a thing for us as guys.
But I wouldn't say that's bullying. I would say that's more of like you're trying to like you're clowning them a bit.
But how
You
does
know
he
what I mean?
recognize? No, you say clowning.
Yeah.
But how do I recognize that it's clowning versus bullying?
Well,
Like, okay, give me 2 examples of each: bullying versus clowning.
clowning would be like, say you're saying late every day, right?
Yeah.
So if you're late every day, you kind of like make jokes. So why are you late every day, man? Like, are you PMSing or something? Like some type of joke, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you keep doing that all the time, then they'll get the message like, oh, maybe I don't want to be late because this
Yeah.
guy keeps clowning me. Bullying is like, I'm picking on you because I don't like that you're cross-eyed or some shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Something you can't change.
Yeah.
That's bullying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think that's the difference. If I make fun of you for some shit that you could change that I don't like, it's different than me bullying you for something like a disability or like your skin color or some shit, right?
Yeah. What about you? Is there any?
I think bullying is very oppressive
Yeah.
in its nature.
Yeah.
You're bullying to oppress someone,
Yeah.
to keep him down, to keep him quiet, to be above him.
Yeah.
And it's not fair because you could have 3 people bullying one
Yeah.
guy. I think the better thing is, or what we're looking for is maybe teasing. and
That's what I
conflict.
said by clowning.
Yeah.
I just talk that way.
Yeah.
New age, right? We're connecting with the younger generation. You know?
Yeah.
We're not like our parents. No, but like teasing or conflict. Conflict is
Yeah.
healthy. Conflict is healthy because you weed out the bad ideas
Yeah.
from the good ones.
Yeah.
If someone is showing up to work and they do half their work and they leave the other half for everyone else, it's fair to have conflict with them. Talk to them. They're not gonna like it. I mean, no one likes when you come to them and you're like, you're fucking dog shit at your shit, Mike. Can you wake up?
Yeah.
No one likes that. But you gotta get the message across.
Yeah.
It's how you resolve it.
Yeah.
If you approach the way that I just did,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
Conflict is good.
But honestly, like, there's a lot of things said today, guys. Like, and I appreciate it. So, like, last thoughts. If you guys could say one thing, like, out of all this episode that we just had, what's the one thing that you guys want people to remember from this episode?
The one thing I want people to remember is that there's no such thing as white culture. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
There's no race culture, and maybe it's better to just listen instead of yap,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of yappers this
Yeah.
generation.
That's
all over.
true, that's true.
Just listen.
Bless. Okay, yo, I gotta go to the bathroom. That's why I gotta like cancel my.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what. That's what.
Is that your final thoughts?
Yeah, cut. Damn, cut. I gotta go to the bathroom. I've been holding for like 30 minutes.
Where's that door? Where's that door?
That was a good podcast. Yeah, he said we're done. Yeah, we're done. Yeah. No, that was a good podcast. I like that
honestly,
shit.
I enjoyed it.
Honestly, I'll come back if you guys want. Like, if you guys want to talk about like hip hop or anything, I'm down.
Hey man, these are the organizers.
True, yeah. Like, I'm down to be a regular guest. I don't even give a fuck. Like, would you do it?
Oh yeah, honestly,
I don't
mean,
care.
It's good to just
Yeah.
get ideas out.
Like, I don't care about like fucking like. I'm not like here to be like I don't want like money or any of that shit. I'll do it for free. I don't give a fuck.
Brother mans, I don't care where you're from,
Yeah.
where you're at. It's how you present yourself.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if the podcast, if he wants me to come back with like lots, I'll do it. I don't care about money or anything. I'll do it for free. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's fun, right?
Yeah. Wait, he's paying you?
No, he's not.